Hello and welcome to another episode of No Load Time. My name is Obed Velez, and with me, packing his bags, it's Mr. Joel Young.
That's right. Good to be with you, man. Yes, indeed. It is indeed that time where I'm packing my bags to leave for Florida SuperCon.
There you go. There you
I ain't leaving the show, guys.
go.
In fact, it's thanks to this lovely show that has opened doors for us to be able to go to these conventions. So I really want to thank you all for sticking with us and hitting the like button and subscribing on our YouTube channel, on our podcast, and just supporting us on social media. Because of you guys and I know the all support, I get to enjoy going to this convention, and I'm not going to just be out there just for fun. I will be there as a member of the press. So because of that, I'm going to get as much exclusive content I can for you all
Exclusive.
while I'm out there. Yes, Microsoft
It's gonna get
exclusive.
more exclusives than Xbox. Joel.
Hey, take it to the bank. This guy just ratioed him. Oh my gosh.
Oh,
Obed
bro.
coming in from the top. Woo, that was good. That was good.
That's an elbow drop, sir. How
Yes,
does that
sir.
feel?
That was power.
Yeah, yeah,
So,
yeah,
yeah.
definitely. Like you were saying, thank you guys for your support. Race to 1,000 on YouTube. We want to get to. I said 1,000 before the end of the year. We're 90 away. We're almost there, right? So
Absolutely.
again, like Joe emphasizes on our outro, we don't have a Patreon. We're trying to we're raw dogging this thing, and we'll see how it goes, right? So we're not asking for much. Just hit that subscribe button and hit a like here and there. I'm glad that you guys seem to enjoy clips from the podcast, right?
Yeah,
Um, enjoy the whole thing, but clips are doing really well on YouTube, and in when it comes to the podcast side of things, right? The audio side of things, doing good. It's
absolutely.
the thank you to the people in Europe that listen to our podcast for some strange reason. Thank you guys.
It's not
I'm
strange to me. You're
glad that
welcome.
I'm glad that you guys are enjoying it, and that you feel welcome. Like we've said before, this is um, we welcome everyone.
That's right.
We're not here to play sides.
Nope.
So we're just here to have a conversation and hope that you guys enjoy it. So, but Joe, what's up,
100%.
dude? Other than packing
Yeah.
your bags, I
Y-
mean, I know that you have a ton of stuff planned, and we can talk Secret Invasion here in a few minutes. But anything new, sir?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, that really has been the crux of it. Between that and then what's, as right not far behind, we got San Diego coming up, and we'll talk about that in a little bit because there's some more interesting information coming out about that. And then Tampa also again. So July is a packed month for me, so I'm trying to get myself all together best I can because we are rocking and rolling. Hopefully, July is gonna be a great month. I already know it. It's gonna be fantastic for us, Obed. And you're along with us all on the journey. I have not had enough time to really go on and game much. I did go and catch the ending of the finale because we at the time wasn't too sure if Superman and Lois on CW was going to actually get picked up for another season. Yes, it did end game picked up, but Obed, I don't know if you heard about that they actually had Doomsday on this last finale. I don't know
Oh,
if you heard
really?
this.
I didn't hear about this.
Yeah, and I was very surprised because I fell off from that show. I watched probably the first 4 or 5 episodes from the first season, and I was like, okay, for episode one was great, and everything after that just was just not doing it. And it's probably because I love Superman, and we'll talk about Superman in a little bit.
Yeah.
But like I think Superman's the best. He's awesome, right? And it's like when you massacre my boy the way TV has done it. I mean, like,
Yeah.
thank God it's not Spider-Man. Like with what they've done with Superman on this show, like if this was Spider-Man, dude, I would be just absolutely throwing, things at the screen. I would just be so upset. But no, I wouldn't do that. I'm just messing. But like it's been very disappointing for me. But regardless, so they have the finale, they have Doomsday on it. And I have to say, for if you get a moment to watch the last 10 minutes, it was basically just Superman versus Doomsday, you would think, wow, this must be a pretty good show because they really did not hold back and they probably put extra money into the budget just for this last few sequences that they have.
That's good.
And I was quite impressed with it. I was quite impressed with that. So Now that they're coming back for another season, I'm curious if it will be a max thing, if we'll stay on CW, if they'll give it more money to up the production. Just an interesting time all around.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the extra things I got to check out recently.
Yeah, I heard that Superman show on the animated one's real good.
The
The
anime
one
one's
on Max,
coming.
yeah.
That's yeah,
Yeah.
that's what that one's coming soon because I think it's on another platform first before it goes to Max.
Mm.
Um, Obed, did you get to check out the Skull Island on Netflix by chance? Are you
I
interested in
haven't.
this?
I haven't. No, I know it's out, but
I
yeah,
I
I
bin
haven't.
I binged through it on the weekend.
Oh, okay.
I got through it. They're like 20-minute long episodes or like eight episodes. And yeah, that was really good, dude.
Oh,
Like
cool.
really, I really look forward to the next season of that. I hope it gets another season.
Nice.
Yeah, and it's in association with Legendary, so they're keeping it. It's not. It's
It's
separate from the TV
MonsterVerse.
universe. It's
Yeah.
its own thing. Yeah,
Oh, okay, okay, okay. So it's different. Okay. Now, yeah, I saw clips of it and it seemed good.
it's good.
So, all right, cool. Good to know. Yeah, not much on my end. It's been, still playing Zelda. Um, I just that game's absorbing me. I really want to play Final Fantasy. We have a long weekend coming up, but I may try to play Final Fantasy over this couple of days, and it's just that the Zelda's so good, dude. I was like, again, I cannot say like if there's anything negative about this game is that it's the frame rate is not good because even when it comes to like resolution, right, and you can tell that this game is dropping to like 720p, but
Oh
in
wow.
some places, but it's just that I wish that this was on a more powerful platform, and it's I don't want to say it's unfortunate because we still got it, and this game is nothing short of a small miracle, but it's one of those things that like, well, how would this look like when you really have like power behind it, right? And I've seen some like emulation mods out there, like 60 FPS and 4K and ray tracing mods on it, and
Oh.
it looks insane. And it's like, man, it's like I wish like, Nintendo would like do something. So no, still playing that, but I guess we can talk Secret Invasion
Yeah, let's
because
go for it.
all right, so that first episode I didn't get to watch it until later last week. I think it's Saturday or something. I watched it, and it started okay for me. And then it just got really boring, dude. Like real boring. And then it kind of picked up a little bit. And then spoilers. I mean, I guess we can go into we just throw the warning out there, right?
Yeah.
We're probably gonna go into spoilers, but when Talos found Gaia, that's when the episode started picking up a little bit, and then the ending was good, right? This second episode, it's probably the best Marvel I've seen since like Far From Home. I haven't seen or No Way Home. I haven't seen Guardians, but
Guardians is
this
great.
was this was legit. It's legit, dude. That's how I feel about this show. Um, I think Nick Fury's great, right? He's a great character, and I think what
Mhm.
they're doing with him, if it's really Nick Fury, right? That's the whole thing in the show, right? It's like, are they really they, right? Um, it's good. It's really good. The whole thing with Rhodey and the back and forth, and it's excellent. And the just the secrets coming out, right? It's like Nick Fury had a secret wife that happens to be an
Yeah.
alien. That kind of drops. Is what really made this second episode really good. How did they get away with that torture scene, dude?
I know. I know.
Yo, I was
I was like,
watching
oh,
that.
it's not gonna be like this. I was like, oh
uh,
snap.
This was like probably the most brutal Marvel thing we've seen so far. Like
Yeah.
out of everything, right?
Yeah.
It it was
Or
crazy.
Guardians. Guardians you haven't seen yet.
That's yeah. But it was pretty brutal, man. It was yeah, dude. Yeah. So that's where I'm at. It's like at first episode, I just found it really boring, and then it picked up in areas, and it was fine. Do you think Hill's done for?
No.
Yeah, me neither.
It's Marvel. Come on.
Yeah.
Noah's dead.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe it's also the multiverse thing too. That's like makes you like, oh,
Oh,
yeah,
true, true. Yeah, oh, like I said, the second episode was, I think, was very, very good. So yeah, how do you feel about it?
yeah. I think the first episode I liked. I thought all around it was a fine premiere. But the second episode was when I went, okay, this is actually really good. Not that I didn't think the first episode was good, but I think it's just kind of confirmation. Like I'm watching this and I'm like, they are hitting off on exactly the spy thriller beat for beat that I want,
Yeah, they actually
right?
pulled that off really good on that
Keep
second episode. Yeah,
people are trying to get sensitive information from each other, governments and espionage and secret identities and secret meetings and the gangster meetings in the meat shops and like dude, they really
yeah,
committed to this super spy kind of thing, but yet at the same time, because of the violence, I was like, we're getting some John Wick stuff right here. This is like crazy, you know. But it's good for what they're trying to do. They're not doing it just to do it. Like it really matches of what they're going for the theme of the show. But it felt like to me, Obed, it felt a little bit like a Daredevil on Netflix, like that kind of mature
yeah.
for a
You
little
know
bit,
what?
you
It
know,
did have kind of that vibe. Yeah, not
like
not
very
as
dark and not colorful.
yeah, yeah. Not as dark,
No,
but
no,
definitely it's a very different Marvel thing,
yeah,
and that's good, and I hope that they don't ruin it because like yeah, it seems to be going in a good direction, and this I think this show's gonna have future ramifications on a lot of the MCU stuff, and there may be testing the waters on how people feel about some of the creative choices
yeah.
that they're about to make based on this show, and I think it's good. I think it's good. So, it, do you think that Gravik they're gonna flip the script from the comics? Do you think that Gravik is gonna end up being Super Scroll?
100%. Why would you why would you make it one of his random henchmen like that we don't care or something? I think they're setting it up for that. I mean, he's the one who's
Yeah,
researching it, and you got your abilities are almost the same as the Fantastic Four, but
yeah,
like it's super smart.
yeah.
Extremis with the fire and the frost giant for the ice kind of invisibility if you
The
want,
stretchy
right?
Groot parts
The
and
group parts, yeah.
yeah. And what
So
was the strength one though? I didn't catch that one really well. I was gonna go back and pause it, but I didn't catch it. It was like a
um
hand or something, like on the
Oh my goodness, they said what it was. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna be kicking myself for what it is. But yeah, no,
yeah.
it was very very much like a Fantastic Four ish kind of.
Yep.
So it's cool.
Yeah. It's interesting that they wanted to do the character first before bringing in the Fantastic Four, and then not
Yeah,
the and. But I appreciate that it's different, right? And
yeah, I
it's
agree.
yeah, and like I said, they're probably they're testing the waters for this show. I think go back, based, and I don't want I don't want to rant about it this week, right? But because we've been doing it for the last couple of weeks, and there's stuff out there about Disney and the things that they're doing and the pieces that they're moving, but um, it feels like for some reason the this show is like a let's get back to the drawing board kind of thing for the MCU,
Yeah,
and yeah, and I'm hoping that this is kind of like this vibe. And I know that some people find it boring, like the whole spy thing is boring to some people. I really like it, and even me, like that first episode was like I know it was built. It was more of a build up episode, and I'll give you that. But I think that what they did on the second episode and expanding on it and the grittiness of it and just the writing was good and everyone it's acting good. I think it was probably the best MCU and freshest MCU thing that I've seen in a long time. So I
it's
appreciate
good
it.
to see. I mean, between that we got this show, right? Secret Invasion. So hopefully it finishes as strong as it's going right now. And then you've got Loki coming out later this year, season 2.
Yeah.
So that's good, right? Because they need that positive momentum. Loki season 1 had a really good stance. Let's hope season 2 is good.
Hmm.
Echo's the one that I'm really unsure. I'm optimistic. It's just be short and dropped at one time.
Okay.
That's around November, but
Oh yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah. They're
hopefully
gonna
they
drop
can find
everything,
a
all
good
the episodes, right?
trajectory. Yeah,
Yeah,
all
I
the
think they
one
would just want
time.
to get it out of the way, and they probably
Yeah,
don't have a lot of faith on that show. Then, if that's the
yeah,
case,
or just testing out the
or
waters
just
again.
yeah, I mean,
But
they
what
yeah,
happens if you drop it rather than week to week,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
like
Do
a
the
Netflix
like a
style?
Netflix style, yeah.
Yep.
I mean, they could be
And
moving into that,
it's
yeah,
the holidays. People have that time to kind of sit around and watch. So maybe, but yeah. And
yeah.
then Thunderbolts just started filming. I don't know if you saw that.
Oh no, no, I didn't see that.
They
That's
just
that's
said they
that's
got
good.
back into filming, so that's a good sign. Um,
That's good.
we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, yeah. So, it was good. Like I enjoyed it. It was fresh, and I liked it. So, yeah, man. All right. I mean, we can jump into some of the topics that we have here. I'm gonna leave Xbox for the end since they've already been elbow dropped. Um,
Give him time to recover so you
let's
can hit him again.
yeah, yeah, exactly. It's like I think don't take some time to respite. But since you're going to SuperCon, uh, what is happening at Comic Con, sir? Is this another E3 scenario?
Yeah, that's what everyone's fearing, right? And I've had people ask me like, you sure you still going? Like, with this going on, I'm like, I ain't get my money's back. No, I'm good. I'm locked in. And
You're
and
locked
Comic
in.
Con so much. Here's the thing, like the difference between E3 and this, the Comic Con is bigger than just movie studios coming, right? Like the whole thing started off as being a comic book celebration style event that does get announcements, absolutely. And the announcements that usually make the news are stuff that happens on TV and theatrically. But like there are much other things for sure it's gonna be to come. Um, Universal skipping out, not too surprised. Sony was the one that really surprised me because they have Craven coming. That's done. Like that comes out in October. Um, and Madame Web, I'm assuming is in post production, right? I don't understand why they've gone 2 years in a row of just not showing up. Like Sony's the one that I think that they need to be very careful because I know they can be all excited with their Across the Spider Verse doing really well. Venom has done very well. Don't get me wrong, but Morbius flopped, and you can't afford to have Craven or Madame Web be a Morbius. Morbius did not come to Comic Con. Venom did. And I'm very surprised that for films that were not like, okay, I understand writer strike stuff about announcing future projects, whatever, but stuff that's already been shot, that's been done, scripts that are done for. Why are you not bringing this to San Diego? To me, that was a pretty dumb decision on their part. That's just my opinion. I'm just calling it like it is. Well, I'm not Sony Pony, guys. See, I can call it like it is there. Um, but DC, Obed, are full swing from the comic book side, television side, and they have not yet said they're not doing the movie side, which I think is going to tie into our other story that we'll cover in a bit here about Superman. But I do fully expect DC to still have the floor. If they pull out, Obed, if DC pulls out of this thing, then you have to get concerned
Mm,
because not concerned is in that Comic Con's dead, but you have to get concerned in the fact of you don't want to see them make this a habit. Like it's one thing when it's the writer's strike
yeah,
and you can blame it on that, but you better come back in 2024 or else then it becomes a cycle of like we can do our own event, like how they try to do the DC fandom, which did pretty good. And then like Marvel tried to do D23, which people have complained D23 ain't what it is for Comic Con type event. It's more of
yeah,
a Disney event than it is than that kind of thing. But yeah, hopefully Comic Con's all right, man.
yeah, man. It's it's unfortunate, and it was unfortunate. Is like E3, we saw it coming, right? That was like there's been rumors since Sega dropped out back in like what January, February, probably,
Yeah,
right? And then the rest of the companies dropped out a couple months ago, but having it be like we're what 2.5 weeks away from it, three
yeah,
weeks, and have them announce that basically none of the studios are going to be there, and we joked about it like last week. I was like, it's just gonna be James Gunn there. It's
Like
and
literally,
that basically that's
Paramount's the only big studio that's going to be there.
yeah, yeah, man.
Paramount's going
It's
to be the only other
concerning.
one.
It's concerning. Um,
It
yeah,
is. No, it is.
yeah.
I'm surprised Netflix didn't have Zack Snyder come out for Rebel Moon. Like this would have been a great
Yeah,
time
they're
to have
being
had
having that.
him
Yeah,
pulled it out because that's supposed to be a two-parter, right? Like that would have been another opportunity. They had the Russo brothers there for
I'm
the Gray Man last year. I'm
I'm very
surprised.
curious about
Yeah,
that Zack Snyder project because that was supposed to be a Star Wars
it's supposed to be.
thing, and then they dropped him, and then he did it anyway. Like he basically changed it to Star Wars to his own thing. So
Yeah.
like, can you imagine? Okay, what best case scenario for this thing, right, Joe? Could you imagine this thing being freaking awesome? And then if Star
Yeah.
Wars fans go like, "Bro, this could have been Star Wars, and you didn't want it." Like, I'm hoping that that's the case, right? I'm hoping that Zack Snyder comes in, just bats it out of the park, and and we go as like Kathleen Kennedy was being fired for the ninth time, and all this stuff. So
Supposedly there's
uh,
like an R-rated version and a family-friendly kind of version that's gonna be coming out on Netflix. He loves to do his different cuts of
yeah,
films, but
yeah,
the difference is these are his cuts. Like Netflix,
he's in
both
control.
of
Yeah,
them are his, right?
yeah.
So it's good to see that they've given him that ability. If it is really good, Kathleen Kennedy is gonna nonstop hear about this forever
I know.
because it's no secret. I mean, he publicly says this is what would have been a Star Wars film.
Yeah, yeah. Man, that's that would be really unfortunate.
Yeah.
But I mean, unfortunate
Uh,
for Star Wars fans, right? For me, it would have been unfortunate. I'm still gonna watch it. I'm gonna watch it because out of curiosity, like I would totally watch, Rebel Moon and not watch The Acolyte. Like I said before, that I
I
was
know.
not
Yeah,
gonna,
no, no,
right?
for sure, for sure.
So,
The Acolyte
I
just
don't,
sounds worse and worse, man.
I don't. I told you.
It sounds worse and
See,
worse.
you know what? And
Everything you said is starting to,
yeah,
you know.
it started to take shape. Yeah, and we didn't want to like speculate and talk about it, but there's a saying in Latin America and saying, I don't know how you can say it in yeah, I don't know if there's a like an English version of it, right? But it's like, um, if the river makes noise, it's because it's dragging rocks, right?
Mm,
So yeah, so
mm,
there's
wow,
noise, so
wow.
it's
Yep.
it's
That's where I
interesting.
say like where there's smoke, there's
Where
fire.
there's
Like
smoke,
you
there's
know, like
fire. Yeah, there you go.
yeah,
That's the English
same
version
kind
of
of
it. Yeah,
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 for
yeah, yeah,
sure, for sure.
yeah. Yep.
So no, that's it's a problem for sure. I mean, Lucasfilm not coming to Comic Con 2 was a little bit of a surprise because I'm like, you don't have Star Wars Celebration. Why wouldn't you come out here and try and promote any of your upcoming stuff? It's very bizarre right now that the handling of Comic Con, why? But the official schedule, Obed, is supposed to drop next week. So that could happen before or the same day of when or right after our podcast next week. So we may have an update of, oh, some studios came back in or more studios dropped or whatever. We'll get a better plan out of what actually is going to be there versus what we're hearing in the media at the moment. So I'm watching it very closely. We will see, man. We will see.
Joe is still going.
Absolutely.
He's gonna go
100%.
visit Doctor Nerd Love over there. Did you ever watch that on G4
No,
when that was on G4?
no, man.
No.
I know what it is, but never watched it. It's hilarious.
I watched it because it was
That's
freaking
hilarious.
hilarious. Yeah,
Oh yeah,
that's
it's
why I
super
watched
silly.
it.
That's good. It's good.
It was
Yeah.
so strange. So I mean, but for the most, it was like they
G4, man.
so they usually had like something that was fine, right? Like most of it was fine. It's like, oh yeah, it's like, oh, want to go like nerd date, right? But sometimes they went like on the weird end, right? Because
Yeah.
sometimes it went
Those nerds.
too MTV on it, and I hated that.
Yeah.
It was like it's like when MTV stopped showing music videos and all they did was like Jackass and all these things. Like, I
Oh
mean, I'm
yeah.
nothing against Jackass. Jackass is freaking hilarious, right? It's great, but it's you know it when they just went full on like reality silliness and like not really real reality, which was even worse. It's yeah, man. It's done. Like I haven't. Are they even still on like MTV? Is that even still a thing?
MTV, yeah, exists.
Okay, 'cause I've seen the
It's
other one. I think
I
I've
see
seen
I see at I see some people have it on at the gym sometimes when I'm there.
I've seen the other one,
But,
like the
yeah,
like the second channel they have where they do play music
yeah.
on. I've seen that one, but I don't even know if that the regular.
Cable
It's been
television as a
84
whole.
years. Oh yeah, man. Like cable
Okay,
television as a
I
whole,
see a
dude.
I see a comment here. Nick Cage. I know. Dylan, I know.
Nick
Nick
Cage.
Cage.
Oh
Yep, I know. I
yeah, yeah, he
know.
knows. I know too. I know too. I haven't watched it, but I know.
Worst kept secret. Worst kept
Yeah,
secret.
yeah.
I told you about before, and there was rumors about it. And it was
Yeah,
true,
wait,
but
yeah, you gave me a spoiler like 3 weeks before the movie came out, right?
it's unfortunate that the guy that did. We'll talk about spoilers for the Flash, guys. Spoilers for the Flash. Nick Cage is in the movie, okay, guys, as Superman, right, in the multiverse. But like, it's unfortunate because John Schnepp, who created that documentary about the death of Superman Lives, that was based on the movie that never
Yeah.
came out, that he died before this thing
He
came
died like
out.
4 or 5 years ago, right?
Yeah, yeah. Well,
Yeah,
he
yeah.
died weekend of Comic Con
With
while I was
Comic
out
Con
there with
weekend,
him.
yeah, yeah, I
It's so
remember.
sad because like he would have been like just going crazy over this. But what's so terrible is that the CGI just ruins the moment to me. Like it's so sad because watching a pre-screen edit, I'm thinking, oh sure, that'll be cleaned up. That'll look great when it's done. And they just
The
left it the
PS2
same.
graphics.
The
Dude,
PS2 graphics, everything's the same.
I saw a video today. Someone saying it's like they made the scene look just like a video game. It's like when
Yeah,
both flashes come in and Superhero come in and the camera pans and
yeah,
it's dude, that's totally like
yeah.
a Final Fantasy,
For
like
sure, for
when
sure.
you're transitioning from a cutscene to gameplay. It totally
For
is,
sure,
dude.
for sure.
I mean, it could be
The editor was
inspired.
a gamer.
Yeah, 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 because it could be inspired, but there's like Final Fantasy VII remake that like most of the big fights are like that, like even the same like camera movement, and then going behind
Yes.
the party, and then the fight starts. It's
But
crazy.
even some of the actual fight sequences, Obed, are like person, like just literally just horizontally, just like across from
Like
one
Street
another,
Fighter
like a
style.
Street Fighter, Mortal
Yeah,
Kombat kind of style,
yeah.
like Batman finds them, which is it's weird to see
Or
Batman in
Injustice in
daylight
this case,
fighting. It is
right?
kind of weird. Yeah, injustice in this
Yeah.
case. But yeah, what some choices, and seeing Anthony Machete coming back to direct Batman, the Brave and the Bold. Yeah, I'm not saying he's a bad director. I think he definitely had a vision, and I'd give him a chance for sure.
Yeah.
But I do get a little concerned. This is the guy who says that if he does another movie, Flash will definitely be Ezra. I'm like, I'm sorry, with how bad this movie is done, there ain't no way, Obed. There is no way Ezra's back. And this may
Yeah.
be. I mean, I was going through some articles breaking down the numbers. This might be, Obed, literally the worst second week drop ever in the history of a comic book film.
Yeah.
It's bad.
Yeah, that second weekend was not good. It was better for Elemental. Elemental did good
Yeah,
on
yeah.
the second weekend. It actually
It's a
did.
good movie. Word
It
of mouth
actually
is
held
pretty
up.
good.
Yeah, yeah. It
Yeah,
actually held up better
it's
on
a
the
good
second
movie.
weekend. I mean, it still flopped, right? We
Sure.
can't cover the sum with
No.
we can't cover the sum with our hand. It's like it still flopped.
Yeah.
But this second weekend uh was better than expected. Like the drop
For
wasn't as
sure.
significant, and they still made decent money. But Spider went back to number one, right?
Yeah.
I think yeah, yeah. So interesting.
See if battling Indy.
Yep. I, I have zero expectations for that movie. I already told you.
I'll tell you how it is.
We already
I'll
talked
probably
about
see
it.
it.
Yeah.
We'll talk about it next week probably.
Yeah, we already talked about it, but yeah, we'll see. All right, let's take a quick break and we'll be right back. Hey, we're back. All right, Joe. So, what's up with great value Henry Cavill?
Oh my goodness. The news has broke. Stop the press. So it is official that we have ourselves a brand new Superman. And we knew, of course, Henry Cavill was going to be coming back after James Gunn got brought on to be the new shepherd, in essence, of the DCU. It's not just James Gunn, it's James Gunn and Peter Safran, but James Gunn's kind of the face of it at the moment.
Yeah, yeah.
They are co-presidents. But yeah, so David Cornsweat, I think that's how you say his name. Forgive me if I'm saying it
Corn,
wrong. And
corn sweat. Yeah, corn sweat.
Cornsweat, right? And Rachel Brosnan are have been cast as your respective Superman, Clark Kent, and Lois Lane. And yeah, this was a pretty big operation. So essentially, what Variety had reported on over the weekend, this last weekend rather, was that the week before that, the weekend of Father's Day weekend, as we know it in America, they basically took six different people, right? Three different ladies, three different men that were in the running to be playing Superman and Lois. And they had them do screen tests. It was at the Warner lots, and it was super under lock and key. The actual execs got to see some of the footage after the fact. James Gunn edited it to show there were specific pairings between the different actors, and supposedly, at least according to the Hollywood Reporter, David and Rachel did not actually have a screen test of them together.
Mm.
So which is interesting. He screened with a different Lois Lane actress, and she screened with a different Clark Kent actor. And so they just loved them both so much that that was the pairing. They did have them wear a Superman costume for one of the screen tests. So I'm wondering which Superman costume was it? Cavill's costume that they had to put on, or was
Mm.
it one before that? I don't know. I mean, it could have been the Ralph's costume. I don't know, but they usually pull out one of those for testing, and then after that, they had a testing of them pretending to be just Clark Kent, where it was more of them just being like the farmer boy to show the versatility that they could do both. And David is the guy, which is pretty cool because we don't want to get political or anything like that, but the actor does have a Jewish descent in his background. Which is pretty incredible considering that the creators of Superman were also Jewish. That's why kind of the immigrant coming into the town as an alien, all the different parallels that you see coming into that. This is a taller Superman. He's 6'4". Cavill was 6'1", so he is actually taller than we'd imagine. I look, as much as I love to keep healthy, he can't be Joel Young fit. He's got to be Superman fit, and so I don't envy his gym routine that he's been hitting, because
Oh
this dude
yeah.
needs to get super jacked because he's got some big shoes to fill. When Cavill came out, he absolutely shocked the world, seeing how buff he was as Superman. It was great, great to see. So I'm curious to see what we'll see as he comes out Superman. Rachel, on the other hand, she has had a really strong career. Marvelous Miss Maisel, very successful show from Amazon that she's been on, and I think that just wrapped its final season, was what I
I believe
heard.
so. Yeah.
So it's a great opportunity for her to jump into something that's now like the next big franchise. It was smart that they locked up somebody with the credentials that she has to play Lois Lane. Many people I've heard have said that are more excited about her as Lois Lane than they are him as Superman,
Really?
which I think
Okay.
is quite fascinating. Not because of anything that he's done bad or anything, but just because of how much people really love her acting and her talent, which
Cool.
is great to see, because we don't need to have no, pushover Lois. We need a Lois that really captivates the audiences. She is one of the most iconic superhero partners that you see on the big screen. You can talk about Spider-Man and MJ, and Lois Lane and Clark Kent are also the it couple in the comics. So seeing them team up together is gonna be incredible. I hope that they show us a great reporter too. But Obed, what's your reactions to the
Yeah.
casting?
I mean, he does look a lot, a lot like Henry. It's like a younger Henry Cavill.
Yeah,
Honestly, yeah. I
yeah,
mean, interestingly enough, in the article that we had in the notes, it mentions that Nicholas Holt was one
yeah.
of the auditioners, and he played Hank McCoy in the X-Men, you know, past series, and basically like First Class, Days of Future Past, Apocalypse, and all that. So, uh, you know, I, I that would have also been a good choice in my opinion, right?
Mm.
Um, I mean, I don't know, I don't know the guy. I've never seen him in anything before, so it. At this point, it's like we'll see what can But we had the same thing with Brendan Routh, right? When he was cast as Superman for
Yeah.
Superman Returns, and I think he was good as Christopher Reeve's Superman, because that was
Mm-hmm.
what Superman Returns was supposed to be, was uh, technically Superman 3, because
Right.
because we don't talk about 3 and 4.
Those don't exist.
Yeah, those don't exist. Uh, and I think that Brendan Routh did a great job. I just think that the movie overall was just not well written.
It's not
Um,
his fault.
and that's not his exactly. He didn't write the movie or directed it, or yeah. So anywho, um, yeah, we'll see. The fact that he's taller, right? That's gonna be interesting.
Yeah.
You can CGI muscles. I don't.
Or do a Shazam effect and put some poofy
Yeah,
padding in his outfit.
yeah. Because if you watch the making, well, I have the was it collector's edition DVD of Superman Returns, right, or special edition
Look at
DVD
you.
it came with a bonus disc, right? So the bonus disc has um basically what the audition process was to pick him as Superman, and then his suit had padding. Like, he
Yeah.
wasn't super buff. Like, he was in shape, but he wasn't
Sure.
like Henry
Yeah.
Cavill. Like my
That
chest
guy's
hairs like
crazy.
popping out of the the suit. It's like
Yeah.
you're making me go to the other side here, sir. It's like take
Manly
take
man.
take it easy. It's like we can only take so much, right?
Now that guy literally looked
So
like Superman. I envision
yeah,
Superman.
yeah,
It's hard just to top that for sure. But the
yeah,
thing about it too, Obed, like, is I'm not against them getting names in Hollywood for big roles. I'm not against it at all. I think you gotta get who's best for the role. But when I say that, like, sometimes I get a little tired when I see, like, it's almost like obvious choices just being cast for major characters where it's like, oh, this person won an Oscar and now they're gonna be playing a superhero. I, I'm not against it entirely, but like I think of like original Star Wars, Obed, and how like no one knew who Mark Hamill and Harrison Ford and Carrie Fisher
yeah,
were. And like they were great. Like I love this with Superman. Like people don't really seem to know who this actor is. And now he's going to be Superman. And now the world will know who he is, assuming that it does well. Right. So,
yeah,
like, I do love this idea of casting an unknown, generally speaking, to audiences. I think that that's a great way to go. But then getting an experienced actress to play Lois Lane, carry that in the film is going to be great. I think it will be a good time. I'm excited to see who we cast for the Authority. I'm excited to see who they cast for Lex Luthor. I wonder if Nicholas Holt will be Lex Luthor instead of
ooh,
Clark Kent. I think that
sure,
could be very possible. Would he commit to coming back and doing that? It's happened before with other characters, right? Tom Hiddleston, had auditioned to be Thor instead of Loki, and we see how that history went. That he's a great Loki. Maybe this could be a good Lex Luthor. Um, but yeah, I'm curious to see as casting goes. I think this was a leak. By no means that I think that DC wanted this to come out. I think that you got this information coming out now, Obed, because of Comic Con. Like, I think they put pen to the paper, and now they're probably put in their contracts a marketing appearance of having to show up at San Diego. That's probably a part of whatever they just signed to get it just in time. I remember Mark Ruffalo had that happen back in the day for the Avengers. He signed like 3 or 4 days before, and then they flew him right in
yeah,
just for that last minute.
yeah,
So I do think that the timing is very particular.
yeah, yeah. Could be. Yeah, we'll see. I mean, unless there's nothing to show yet, right? So I guess next
Yeah.
year's Comic Con you'll probably see something.
I know.
Yeah.
Seriously. Yeah.
Yep.
Probably Batman, right at that point.
Yeah. Yeah. Honestly. Yep. All right, man. So you know, when people go to court, all that dirty laundry starts coming out.
Oh yeah.
That's kind of like what's happening right now with the whole Microsoft activation and the Sony complaints. Um, it's kind of embarrassing on both ends, right? Because you know Sony, they're in a position where they probably don't need to make all this hubbub about it,
Hmm.
but at the same time, you know, it's totally understandable. And then you have Microsoft, and I you know, I'm gonna be kind of blunt here, right? And I know that we may have Xbox fans listening to the show, and you know, Sony ponies, whatever, and um, I just this whole Microsoft thing is just pathetic, dude. It's just that the you know just reading about it, and the more you read about all the stuff that they try to do, and all the studios and all these acquisitions, it just it just sounds so desperate, and it really is pathetic. Like Phil was out there, you know, in court saying that, oh yeah, like we're way behind Sony and Nintendo. Like it's you know again crazy, right? Sony and Microsoft are out here, you know, putting their dirty laundry out, and Nintendo's back here just wiping their tears with you know $100 bills. It's like, oh, you guys are fighting, yeah. So man, so all right, we'll start on this one because this one for me is interesting. Being a Sega kid and a longtime Sega fan, but at some point before during the release of the Xbox Series X and S, uh, Phil Spencer was considering reaching out to Sega for a possible acquisition, and we talked about it before. Like Sega had a partnership when Sega went out of the console business,
Mm.
and Sega had a partnership with Microsoft went with the Dreamcast when the Dreamcast launched, and then with the original Xbox, the you know Sega had a bunch of exclusive games for the Xbox that were good games, and you know that was a partnership that was the you know the seeds of that partnership started back with the Dreamcast, continued after Sega uh, got out of the console business and they started publishing games on other consoles, and then they were putting stuff on Xbox that was exclusive to the Xbox, right? Um, I can't remember if it was during the Xbox Series X or the year prior. Some, you know, fortunately, I don't have the notes, right? There's one episode out there, it could be 2019, 2020, that I mentioned that Microsoft was considering either buying or partnering with Sega, and they would release a Sega branded Xbox in Japan.
Yep. Yep.
That's a lot of
I
the,
remember this.
and I always had this feeling like they were going to go after Sega, right? For the longest time, I've had it, and look at that, man! It's crazy. So, of course, we all know that the deal did not go through um, due to you know other complexities and you know Sega being a foreign company and Japan being very protective of companies you know like that. And I mean, I guess it's a poorly kept secret about Sega. There's there alleged links to you know the Yakuza, so we'll leave it at, we'll leave it there.
Isaiah,
we,
don't send them after
we,
me, Obed.
we got
I'm
Pedro and Jose or
sorry.
whatever.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
whatever the name.
Jose and Omar.
Jose and Omar.
Sorry.
Got FIFA and the Yakuza after us now.
Oh my god.
Jose and Omar. Yeah, Jose and Omar. You know, so
Jose and Omar on the run.
oh, so yeah.
Clark Kent puts on his glasses. We
Oh
become
no,
Jose
I will
Omar.
recognize me now. Um, it's yeah. So it's very interesting. You know, they also considered buying Bungie before Sony come in and swept them off and grabbed them. But they ended up going to for big fish, like, or bigger fish in this case, right? Um, it seems like their relationship with Sega at some point was kind of strained because Sega for a while did not put a ton of stuff on Xbox, but it seems like they're more open now with they have the personas and they have other games coming out, and the Persona 3 remake was announced at the Xbox event, even though it was leaked before. But
Mm.
yeah, man, it's very very interesting. We know that Sega just purchased what, the Angry Birds people,
Yeah.
Rovio, right?
Yep.
And you know, I think Sega's in a healthy position. They shed their arcade operations. They're still making arcade games, but the operations that they used to run in Japan, they sold to Gigo. So, man, let's start with that. What do you think of all this? I think it's nuts, right? Because it's like, me being someone that loves Sega, it's
Yeah.
it's it's a big deal. And I was gonna be honest with you again, dude. Xbox released a Sega branded console, I would buy it. That
Do
would
you
that,
feel like do you feel like though we've been spared that it just fell apart, that for all the reasons that you went through that it didn't happen, or do you think it would have been a good thing?
I I don't know.
Right?
I don't
Could
know.
have gone either way.
Yeah, yeah. I It's just that Microsoft has done such a terrible job managing their game studios
Right.
overall, that I would fear for them, right? And it being like an institution in Japan, uh, it would not have ended well. Although I'm sure that another Japanese company could have come in and bought them back, right?
Sure.
If that would have been the case, but it's one of those that I really don't know if it would have been bad. It's just that Microsoft has, you know, they don't care about gaming.
No.
Gaming is back burner stuff for them, dude. They
Right.
wanna they wanna ding you on those Teams licenses and Office. That's how they get you, right?
Yeah.
And and the Assure and all the money that they're making with that. So I don't know. I really don't know. But again, if they would have released a Sega branded Xbox, I would probably buy it. Even if I don't buy
Mm.
any games, just to have it, I would buy it. I would
Yeah.
buy a box that says Sega on
I'm gonna open. I've got a few boxes I need to sell you.
it.
How
are
much you
they
want to
are
pay?
they empty, or is there stuff
You
in it?
know, you said you
Oh,
want some boxes. No, I hear you. I hear
if
you.
you
I think
have
I
if you
think
have it if you have Sega boxes with Sega stuff in them, nolotime@gmail.com. We'll make it happen.
make a deal. Make a deal.
We'll pay the shipping.
There you go. There you go. No, I think you bring out a great point, because it's like Microsoft on paper acquiring anything is a big deal. Like, they are a huge company, a very, very well known company with a lot of different history behind them. But with that history comes the hesitancy, specifically because we're talking about their games division. And Sega could definitely use, I'm not saying this because they're doing anything wrong necessarily, but they could use some new life to them. And had that deal happened, there could have been another new chapter in the history of Sega, and from the from the console wars days, and trying to bring them into the fold, really, and put them in the front of especially American gaming, because that's where Microsoft's really stronger, right? And like you said, I feel like they would have been an acquisition. It's just me theorizing. They would have picked up Sega, and they would have done the same thing that they always do, just drop the ball. They would have probably, like, just done, very minimal products coming out, and not want gone as wild as realizing you have Sega, you can definitely utilize the IPs. You can run plenty of really, really big Sonic games and put into development multiple different projects. But it seems like they just kind of shuffle their feet with these things sometimes, and that's a concerning pattern. But I don't want to just crack down on Microsoft. They get things right, and when they do, it's really well. Like, when they do have their wins, and it's unfortunate that just when it comes to that side of the acquisitions, like there's a hesitancy because it really shouldn't be that way. And I'm not even saying like a Sony would have made a deal with them, like, oh, this would have been huge. Like it still would have been big, like just the same like we're talking with Microsoft. But man, I mean, it's Microsoft versus themselves at this moment.
Yeah. And then you got Jim Ryan saying that Game Pass, what's the is value destructive
Yeah,
for
which is so true.
it, and we've talked about it, that
I don't
how
know
much longer,
how.
is Game Pass sustainable, right?
I mean, it sounds like Movie Pass, dude. Like how that thing went under. That's what it feels like.
So
The steal.
yeah, I mean the prices are going up for Game Pass. I don't know if you saw that they announced it
Even
last
with the
week, right?
going up, dude,
Yeah,
it's
yeah, yeah.
still
Like I don't know how they're able to sustain it, honestly.
no way.
How much money are they losing in
So
that?
much.
Because all these titles, they gotta pay the publishers and the developers for it, right? It's not these games are not
Right.
there for free.
Right. It's licensing.
So how much money, and then keep up. I mean, I guess infrastructure is not not a big deal. It's just storage, right? But when it comes to xCloud and all this other stuff, um, but we talked about it before, right? And I think that people say, "Oh yeah, Game Pass is the best deal in gaming," but yeah, I mean, do you go back and play games that are on Game Pass other than your Xbox exclusives, right? Because like
Exclusive.
because I mean,
We need
having
that. We need that audio, dude. We need that audio.
yeah, yeah, honestly, yeah. Oh man, I should set it up. I was like, oh, right now I have Vader
Yeah.
here. So, um, so yeah, it's I don't know how they do it. But I think Jim has a point, and I I don't. It's just the whole thing is so desperate, and it's I just don't know, man. I don't know how I feel about it, right? Because but in both ends, right? Like Sony's kind of like looking like crybabies, right? But then Microsoft's over here like looking so sad, and it's like, dude, you're like the freaking you're $1 trillion company. Why are you like being such a baby about this, right? And then and then you got Microsoft CEO Satya Nadella out there saying that we have exclusives because of Sony, because people
For
want
sure.
exclusives. It's like, yeah, no, I was gonna use a word, but no, yeah. I was like, come on, dude, really, really.
Yeah.
It's like Nintendo's out there just outselling everyone. Why? Because of the exclusives. Nintendo's not outselling you because they have their own version of Mortal Kombat 1 coming
Nope.
to it. Nintendo's not outselling you without Nintendo's outselling you without Call of Duty.
Nintendo's outselling you with less hardware.
Yeah. Like it's not even comparable, right? It's like
No.
10 times your console is 10 times more powerful than the Switch.
100%.
And you and and they're outselling you without Call of Duty, without this other major like action franchises. Like the only thing they have is Fortnite, right? Now Fortnite, that doesn't run as well as on
Nope.
the other consoles. They're outselling you on their IP. They're outselling you on their exclusives, and Microsoft. So ideal, like Microsoft would be great as like a VCR, right? A VCR that you can just buy your tape, right? And you watch your your I'm being super retro with this analogy, but
Yeah.
you know that's my is the whole VCR concept, right? It's like we make the VCRs, and you go to the store, right, and you rent a tape, and you watch it, and you return it, right? But then here Sony is like, no, like we have our thing, right? and you buy this from us and you get to keep it and then you use it. But we could also give you the option of going to the video store. And
Right.
so it's like a VCR versus a VCR DVD combo, right? There you go. I just dated myself with all this, analogies.
I
But
know what it is. The VCR DVD combo. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. I know.
so that's how I see it, right? So Microsoft just wants to just like I just want to be I just want to be a VCR and I want people to leave us alone. But no, these people are forcing us to also get a DVD on it.
Yeah.
And that's basically what it is, right? It's like fans are clamoring for exclusives, no exclusives come out, and then you know, oh, Sony's forcing us to make exclusives because that's what people want. Of course, it is, man. I mean, I don't know. It's like and again the Sony's crying about it and being a baby. This guy's being a baby and Jim Ryan being a baby about it. It's kind of sad too, right? Because on their own, I know that Sony, with Bungie and they now that the Sega thing is out there, bro. It's like
Oh
could
yeah.
Sony come in and swipe them, right?
Yeah.
Could Nintendo come in and swipe them,
Ooh, the history of Nintendo and Sega, dude.
bro? They fused the
Whoa.
fusion dance and then they come together.
If you can't beat them, join them.
It's like it's been 20, Sega's been out of the console business for 22 years and now they
Oh
come
my
in
goodness.
and they get in. Um it's crazy. There's a lot of crazy stuff going on. All this, again, dirty laundry out there and
Yeah.
it's great to I'm glad that a lot of people get to see the in and outs because they think that this like running this type of businesses is oh, if I would run it it'd be so easy, right? It's like
No.
when people think that they can run Disney, right? And it's like you know it's like
You could, Obed.
nah, come on. Come on. I probably could. I would rule with an iron fist. But to make everyone happy. It's my goal. It's my goal. Um yeah, I mean anything else you want to add because this is like I said we talked about the Game Pass stuff, but I know how you feel about that, but go ahead, man.
Yeah. Yeah, it did feel like Jim Ryan is dunking on him. Like they said the dirty laundry's out, and I know IGN put out an interesting opinion piece that I thought was pretty good perspective of like the mask has been removed from Microsoft in this moment, and really it's through these legal proceedings, through these documents and these paperworks coming out that we're actually getting an insight into the mind of Microsoft. And yes, when it comes to these types of legal hearings sometimes the documents, not sometimes but generally speaking, the documents are used in a way to try and um I don't want to say victimize, it's not the right word I'm looking for, but make you empathize with them and say that why they really need a win in this, right? Because of maybe they've been wronged or what have you. But in this circumstance, I think um whatever happens on the legal side, that will play out the way it's supposed to and let, the court of law do what it's supposed to do. But when it comes to just the public opinion and the stance that fans and gamers alike are going to have, there's going to be a lot to look back on from everything that's been exposed and what may continue to come out going forward because it's still proceedings. That's
Yeah.
going to definitely stay with them and be a moment of history that we'll reference going forward because
Yeah.
you'll know, oh, remember the Sega thing? Well, now we have this insight into it. And oh, what they were thinking with this and we're thinking with that, and how the 2028 they're expecting to have new consoles, and it just there's so much that we're getting out of
Yeah.
these hearings. This is fascinating.
And Project Q, like we mentioned, that it was like under $300. Like
Yeah,
Microsoft already knows the price for this thing, right?
yeah.
And it's a rare glimpse, right? And this will make a really good console wars part 2
Oh yeah, what a great documentary
documentary.
series.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because that, if you guys haven't watched any other console wars that's out there that, either read the book,
Paramounts.
yeah, either read the book or or watch the Paramount documentary, or watch
Yeah.
or watch the High Score on
And
Netflix.
Netflix.
Um, you guys gotta watch. If you're like remotely interested in anything to do with kind of like this stuff that's happening right now, go watch Console Wars, read the Console Wars book, or watch uh, uh, High Score, because you'll see what happened behind the scenes between Sega and Nintendo, and it was like the Sega Nintendo that thing got personal. Like they were like almost gonna be like fist fights and
Oh,
everything. It
literally,
was
yeah. Oh, it was getting
yeah,
bad.
yeah. Like
Yeah.
people in
That's
court
why you
giving the
said
looks, and it got intense.
that's why you saying like, could there be an opportunity for Nintendo just to even fathom that of them coming together? People will be rolling in their graves, dude, if that
Bro,
happened.
that would be crazy, man.
Oh my
But I can
gosh.
see. I mean, I can see. I don't think Nintendo has any interest
Right?
on acquiring Sega, even if it has a partnership, and they can still like publish stuff out. And because I think that's the thing, Nintendo, they probably don't want to deal with having to deal with publishing their stuff on other devices. They don't want to deal with that, right? Sony, I can see, right, uh, bro. I'm telling you, man. Like if this deal goes through, um, there's gonna be Sony's gonna there. It's gonna be some big deal, purchases that they're gonna be doing, and then again, people are not gonna be happy. They're like, well,
Yeah.
Microsoft forced us to do this because, you know, they're trying to protect their slice of the pie, right? But at
Yeah.
the same time, they want an extra. They want our piece of pie to provide extra for their piece of pie. So um, again, the Square Enix that's been rumored for a long time. The Sony acquiring Square Enix. Even Capcom at this point, I would think it's on the table. But Sega for sure, dude. Like I can definitely see Sega,
Yeah. Yeah.
Sony coming in and after this got out there and just buying Sega. Like I could see that happening, and that yeah, yeah. um, you know, they just talk about just like buying the guys that put you out of business, the guys that you put out of business 22 years ago,
Woo.
basically,
My goodness. Chess
basically,
move.
dude. Um, that would be pretty crazy. I just think that Microsoft, um, we've been through this before, right? This is not the first time. Every time, and they've been doing this thing for a long time, right? If something's big and hot, we'll just buy it and absorb it into one of our teams, and that's the problem, right?
Yeah.
Like they're gonna buy Sega and they're gonna absorb it into one of the teams, and they're gonna make trash games. And that's the unfortunate fact about Xbox, right?
Right.
Their studios are mismanaged. Um, Everything's delayed. Everything's behind. Everything's like, I don't know, man. Um, we're running out of time, but we can probably continue this discussion on the next show, because I'm sure that
Oh
there's
yeah.
stuff that's gonna be coming out there in the near future. But sir, in the meantime, you're getting ready to go to SuperCon,
That's right.
and 2 weeks from now, the big daddy of them all.
Yeah, the Super Bowl of nerds. That's the big one.
I
The
love it.
big one.
Yeah, but
But
yeah, go ahead and plug us in, sir, and let's go home.
absolutely. Everyone, I want to make sure you stay connected, stay with us. So stay subscribed to No Load Time on podcast platforms of your choice, places like Spotify, SoundCloud, Amazon Music. Find us, subscribe to us, write a review for us on those podcast platforms. That really help us out. Also, subscribe to the No Load Time YouTube channel. You can watch the video version of the show in addition to clips that are produced from the show and even the movie reviews. And also, me being at Florida SuperCon, I will have my SuperCon coverage coming to you guys from the convention on our YouTube channel. So make sure you're subscribed so you can catch all that content that I'll be promoting out of there. Additionally, you can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. That's at No Load Time. That's at No Load Time. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. And I'll also be putting out content on there covering Florida SuperCon. You can also follow us on Twitch, no load time altogether. That's no load time altogether on Twitch. And last but not least, if you have a question, comment, feedback, you want to send Obed some Sega boxes, email us no load time at gmail.com. That's no load time at gmail.com. And, we'll definitely try to connect with you if we can. But look forward to being with you all on our next episode. Stay tuned for SuperCon coverage, and we'll see you guys.
Thank you guys. Stay safe. We'll see you again next time.